Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Collection Neo. My name's Alex, I do reviews. Today we have Sideshow's premium format Deadpool Heatseeker exclusive. Bit of a long awaited piece this one, very controversial at the time because this one was $699. Sideshow's prices have steadily been going up, more complicated pieces getting more expensive, which is as expected, to be honest, because prices are rising all over the place. China's really raising their factory prices all around the board, really. So Sideshow's prices have been steadily going up, and you've got in a world where XM are charging $700-800 per statue more for us importing them. Sideshow really is still kind of good value. With their $500-550 statues. The difference is that 99% of XM statues come through looking as good, if not better, than the prototype, whereas Sideshow's got a bit of a reputation for fucking stuff up. And so when they show a really complicated piece like Deadpool, no one's really confident in them executing that piece as well as it could be done. Now, let me say right off the bat, before we get down to the nitty-gritty, Sideshow have fucking nailed this. They have. They've done a fantastic job. I had a few qualms about this guy. As soon as I saw the concept, I knew I wanted it. It's everything that I want from a Deadpool statue. It's got that craziness, it's got that badassery, it's got everything that Deadpool stands for. Great sculpt, nice take on his costume. Some nice details here and there, which it's not very. It's a bit more like a realistic comic book take. It kind of reminds me of their Captain America, the Ally Charge on Hydra one, the more recent premium format they did. Very comic booky, but two like real world elements. So as you can see on Deadpool here, all the black's got like a quilted effect, which isn't very comic booky. It's kind of more like it's not really like the film either. It's just more a realistic take on it. And like the bootstraps and things like that, it's just a bit of a different take on Deadpool, while still remaining that comic book look. Now, I did review the original premium format, which is a great piece, but it was a museum piece. Really well done. Lots of nice mixed media elements on it. Two heads, which I loved, are very serious and very more leaning towards a more realistic take head, and then it had a comic book head. The comic book head I fucking adored, which is something that's missing from this slightly, but doesn't take away really from the overall of the entire piece, because once we get into this, you're going to see this piece is crazy. So $699, and was it worth it? Originally when I first got it, I was kind of like, I mean, this all in all with shipping was like $140, and then I had £50 custom charges, which was quite low, to be honest. I was expecting at least double that. This is rocked in at about 700 quid, which is big money for a quarter scale statue. But I suppose nowadays when you're paying £450-500 for a museum statue on a small base, £700 for this isn't that bad. It sounds fucking mental to be saying that £700 isn't that bad for a quarter scale statue, but that's the way the market's going. And I think for Deadpool, you are getting quite a lot of bang for your buck. Like I say, when I first got it, I didn't feel this, but as I've looked at it and pictured it and span it around and had good, spoke to friends about it, it kind of does work out quite a decent price for what you're getting here, especially with the X, because you do get two switch out bits, which we'll get onto. So as you can see, this statue is literally Deadpool leaping from an explosion. It is the best statue I have seen that is a snapshot in time. Other statues have kind of done this, one that springs to mind which has got a similar effect to this is the PCS Judge Dredd, where the bullets are coming out the gun, like the cartridges, so you can, the shells, so you can see like it's a snapshot in time. And this is doing that, but taking it to the most extreme level. So let's go over a few bits. Let's start at the top, why not? Up here, we've got a grenade that Deadpool is very much slicing into. What I will do actually is take that bit off. So as you can see, grenade, sword straight through, mid-explosion, bits of the grenade. It's, you know, fantastic concept, fantastically well realised. The sword is metal, which I'm very, very happy about, because this is one of the parts I was worried about, because he's holding it out at such a outstretched point. I was thinking, if that sword's plastic or a very thin resin, it is not going to hold up. But luckily Sideshow have used metal, so that arm just goes in on the magnet. A very, very strong magnet, that one. Then we've got the missile coming around the side, which is in two parts. You have the missile part, then you have the clear resin part, which slots into the back, and then that just slots into Deadpool's waist. I will try to spin round. Let's adjust. So as you can see, you've got this huge missile coming around the back of him. That's why it's called Heatseeker, the statue. Literally dodging that while firing a gun behind his head. And all the pouches are nicely detailed, all the paints are really well done. Now the red isn't as, I mean, it's coming out quite bright and quite shiny on camera, but in hand it's quite a dark and muted red. It's definitely not as bright as the original premium format, and they've gone for a slightly darker red, but it really works still. Really nice contrast with the blacks and the greens of the pouches. Like I said, lots of detail here. We've got a gun, sidearm. The boots are really well done. We'll get down to that when I move down. All the pouches, really well sculpted, really well painted. I mean, paints were going to be everything on this piece, and I'm happy to report that Sideshow have pretty much nailed the paints. So we've got this gun on the back of the head, which does come off. As you can see, we've got bullet cartridges, as I said, like on the Judge Dredd piece. And then we've got this literal muzzle fire. And if you can see, if I can get it in focus, we have an actual bullet on the end. Now this piece does come out. It just goes in with friction. It's very, very stable and no problem with it. Just give it a little push and it does stay in. I've seen people displaying it without it, but honestly I think it's so well done. The flame effect's very cool, but just having that bullet on the end is just fantastic. Super next level shit. Really. I mean, I would say this is Sideshow really stepping up the game, because this is kind of like catch up to XM and what they're doing with their pieces. A little bit forward. So so both of these pieces I'm showing you now, the head and the gun, are what you get with the reg. Really nice Deadpool mask. Like I said, I would have preferred a more older comic book look as well with this, but this is pretty much how Deadpool's drawn nowadays. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Now the exclusive parts, first off, now this sells me, because this for me is my be-all end-all of Deadpool statues. You've got the ridiculous pose, you've got the badassery of slicing a grenade in half, and the serious face, firing the gun over his head. But as much as people think that Deadpool's like this major badass mercenary who slices people up and, you know, gets covered in, it's, you know, he's probably 25% that. He's 75% a fucking idiot. He's mentally unstable, lots of pop culture references, lots of breaking the fourth wall, and this head and hand combo kind of really defines that for me. So I'll bring up the normal head again. There's your normal head, your reg head, which we will get into focus. There we go, and this is the exclusive head. So the exclusive head is called Red Steel. So it's kind of that Ben Stiller kissy face. Really, really well done. The wink, the lips piercing through the mask is brilliant. And you know, that would have been enough for me. Kissy face as you're slicing a grain in half. But what Sideshow also give you for the exclusive edition is something that my friend told me about. He was in Korea a few years ago, and he was like, the latest craze, selfie sticks. And I was like, that won't ever catch on. And here we have a Deadpool statue, and on the inside of the phone we have exactly the same pose with flames behind it as if the explosion has just gone off even. And we reach over, nice strong magnets, and there we go. So now we have Deadpool taking a selfie, the red steel face. Everything's going on. It's the other side of Deadpool that I adore. The stupid, just not like comedy side, just real stupid comedy side of him. And now we'll scroll down a bit because I think this is what Sideshow were really pushing. They were saying the base is really complicated and, you know, this is why the price is so high. And I was like, yeah. But actually it's a really, really fucking good effect. So on the base, it's actually all concrete, and then it looks like there's this huge explosion's gone on, like a grenade or a mine, and it's blowing up, and you've got this huge like bubble of fire that's popping out, and you've Deadpool pegs in right there. And it's magnificently done. All these spikes, apart from 3, these are all colour-coded. They go in no problem. Just going to have to watch the top of Deadpool because he does stick out quite far as we spin all the way around. So you can see all that base. Very, very nicely done. Like I say, it's like a clear resin bubble over the top. I don't know how they've done it. I'm guessing all this bit is separate that went on. All these bits attached to the bubble. It's really, really nicely done. It's very, very fucking special, this statue. And I'm so happy that Sideshow have just absolutely nailed it. If there was one little thing here and there that was, you know, if that sword wasn't metal, it'd be worrying. If that clear resin wasn't as clear and as well done and well painted as it is, and the explosions weren't done as well, or if, you know, the missile didn't look right. But luckily, as far as I'm concerned, everything looks fantastic. And with the red steel kissy face, I just it just tickles me. I think it's so Deadpool. I've been reading Deadpool for 15, 18 years, probably since about 2000, 2002, maybe. And, you know, a lot of writers handle him different. But for me, for what comics I've read, you know, I've pretty much been reading Deadpool since then. You know, obviously he's exploded recently with the movie and all that sort of thing. And Deadpool was actually the first full-size Boeing statue I bought. You know, I really fell in love with the character. And I think some people have handled him badly, but majority, you know, they keep that, you know, it's got to be written as a comedy first, you know, and an action set pieces second, you know. That's what Deadpool is to me, and this, like I say, represents both sides very, very well. Sideshow, well done. That's all I can say. Now, $6.99 or £700, is it worth it? I'm going to say yes at this point. I originally thought no, but I think the amount of work that's gone into it with the switch outs, I think it's very, very much worth it. I would say this is the be-all and end-all of Deadpool statues. And I know I've said that for me, but I think that should be the general consensus. I know people are going to claw to their original ones, and I don't blame them, because it's a really good premium format, and there's good 1/6 scales from Koto and Boeing. But as far as I'm concerned, until XM have a go, which we'll see how that turns out, this is pretty much it. I can't see me ever getting, you know, I only get rid of a character to buy a new version of it. If, you know, if I get rid of my Daredevil or Spider-Man, that's what, you know, it'll be to replace it. I only have one version of each character. That's my rule, regardless of scale. I'm trying to stick to quarters. So, you know, so this for me, this is it. I'm done for Deadpool statues. I don't need another Deadpool statue. It's got everything. It's got absolutely everything. It's a real showstopper. Now, displaying it, I've seen people saying display it with XM cable. That doesn't work. It really doesn't work. You need another action statue with this. I think, personally, and if you haven't read the Deadpool and Spider-Man comic that was out last year or the year before, go and pick it up. It's fantastic. And I think Sideshow's Action Spider-Man on the crane with the exploding base and the big leapy pose matches up perfectly with this. I think it's a great piece to display. I honestly don't think you need anything to display with this. I think it's telling its own story. It has that snapshot in time. But if you want another piece to display with it, I think Spider-Man's a great piece to go with it. I wouldn't put anything museum pose with it. I don't think it really works. I think you need action, action, action. And Spider-Man's got a similar base, exploding base, with this huge leaping pose, with the webbing firing out his hand. Again, another snapshot in time, and it kind of works really well with Deadpool, in my opinion. So Sideshow also releasing now, if you want a real companion piece, Lady Deadpool. Lady Deadpool's actually Deadpool from another dimension. She's not like she's not just like a female version. He actually goes to another dimension and gets the Deadpool corpse along with Headpool, Dogpool, and Kidpool. Now, it's a really fucking cool statue. She's literally on top of a Deadpool moped or Vespa, kicking a rocket in midair and slicing a bullet into. It's very, very similar, but very, very fucking cool. Now, the regular also comes with a switch out, so instead of kicking a rocket, you can have a kicking Headpool with a stick of dynamite in his mouth, which is brilliant. And then the exclusive comes with an unmasked portrait, which is terrible in my opinion. So I will be picking up the regular of that, and those two together are going to look stunning. Spidey in the middle, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, Sideshow on a bit of a roll. I think this is my last. Oh no, I've got Death coming. Court of the Dead. That's the only thing that's really keeping me interested in Sideshow at the minute. I'm only really using them for Prime 1 pieces to get them shipped over to me. So the rest of my pre-orders, I think, with Sideshow, apart from Death. Oh, Mortigal from Court of the Dead. Yeah, it's pretty much Court of the Dead, Mortigal and Death. And then the rest is Kinnikuman and Guyver. With Prime 1. So, you know, and I've kind of backed down a little bit on the Marvel and the DC. All my DC pieces have sold now, apart from my Green Lantern and Sinestro. Can't seem to let them go because I'm a big Green Lantern fan. And my Marvel collection's slimmed right down just to make room for new stuff coming in. But I really want to focus on those key characters. You know, my 5 favourite characters. I shouldn't have committed to 5 because as soon as I said 5, I thought of others. But you know, my favourite characters are Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Ghost Rider, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Nova, Star-Lord, and a few other cosmics. Adam Warlock. Basically, what I had with my Boeing collection. You know, and I'm dying. You know, for Sideshow, I'd love an Annihilation Nova, an Annihilation Star-Lord, and a classic Adam Warlock. They would just be. You know, and I do really want to pick up Iron Fist and Moon Knight from XM. Eventually, it's just money. I've got so much on pre-order, but yes, as far as I'm concerned, I've got my definitive Deadpool, and I don't think that's going to change. I really don't. If you can find him, he's still in stock actually on Sideshow, due to this recording, which is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to everyone. He's wearing red, you know, big fat guy wearing red. Well, not quite fat, but you know, I needed a Santa hat and a beard put on him, but you know, he is still in stock. The exclusive still in stock. It's limited to 1,500, which is kind of high, but not too bad for Deadpool. I think that's what the original PF was limited to, and that went for, you know, a lot more money eventually. I think this will do really well. I do. I think most people, once they see it, and it's Deadpool, who's super popular, especially with Deadpool 2 coming out, I think this one will be hard to get hold of. So jump on Sideshow's website and pick yourself up an exclusive, because I think if you want both sides of Deadpool and you want to switch it out with the gun and the normal head, I think the kissy face and selfie stick is a bit of genius when it comes to statues. So there you go, guys. Hope you all have a merry, merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate around this time of year. Lots of stuff coming in January, at least 5 statues, 3 from First Figures, 2 from Pop Culture Shock. and then loads more coming into the the first couple of quarters of the next year. Guyver, hopefully. Guyver 1, hopefully in about March, April, and more Prime 1 stuff as we go through. So that's my last review for this year, guys. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for any comments anyone's made, and keep doing this, and I'll be back with a new review in the new year. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.